So Michelle Obama's podcast, a lot of people are saying that considering that she got 54 million followers on Instagram and 50 million followers on X and all of this stuff, the fact that she's getting such abysmal views and such a disproportionate dislikes for likes, meaning that a lot of the views that she get are people that are hate watching or people that just want to go in and criticize it. And I'll share the screen with you guys just to kind of give you all an update on what you think. I want to know what y'all thoughts are on whether or not you think that her podcast was successful or it can still be successful, considering that the last one that she dropped 5 days ago only got six and a half. The last clip that she dropped only got 6,000 views. She has 69,000 subscribers. Some of her clips and videos only getting 6,500 views. That got Kiki Palmer in it. Super celebrities. This one right here is Kiki Palmer on continue to move the career goalpost. Got 3.8 thousand views 11 days ago. Some of them getting the bigger views. Other ones only getting 7,500 views. A lot of people are considering the bus. And then other people are also saying that if you go into her podcast, you can also realize that she's getting a disproportionate amount of dislikes to likes. They are also saying that she's leveraging shorts to get more subscribers, but these shorts is not even necessarily getting no views like that either. So, what are your thoughts on Michelle Obama's podcast? Now that we had some time to sit with it, whether or not it is considered to be successful, her and her brother. I don't even know his name. And what do y'all think about a lot of content creators? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't even share it. Shit, I'm up here talking and stuff, and I never even shared it. My bad. So here's some of the numbers. Why y'all ain't stop me? Here's some of the numbers. This last clip from 5 days ago got 6,500 views or 6,000 views. This one got 6,000 views. This one got 3,000 views with Kiki Palmer, this clip and stuff like that.
The one got 69,000, right?
Well, the 69 is how many subscribers that she got to the channel.
No. On the one video, it has 69,000, right?
Yeah, this one.
Yeah, with that
No,
dude.
it's a whole episode.
Yeah, the whole. Oh, yeah, so the episodes are getting traction. Just the small clips aren't.
Usually it's the opposite. Usually it's the clips that get a lot more traction sometimes, but it could be a mixture. But considering again that she got over 50 million Instagram followers and she's using all of these platforms to get more visibility and stuff, but her long form content is taking a while to get traction apparently. And again, there's always more dislikes than likes on every single thing that she drops. What are y'all thoughts on Michelle Obama, whether or not she was successful, and whether or not a lot of content creators are struggling or not struggling? I was talking to Slimmy and Q Diddy in the back, and I was sharing with them also about the fact that Math Hoffa seems to be going through some stuff. He's trying to pivot and get into doing different things on this platform. He just did a video where he said that they lost his barbershop. This video 4 days ago, which it seems like he's starting to get into reaction content, did 1.8 thousand views, even though he got 1 million subscribers. This got 2.6 thousand views. This got 2.9 thousand views. So it seems like he's trying to pivot and rebrand, but then at the same time, on this video where he said that he lost his location in his barbershop, a lot of people are having commentary saying that because he said he was having financial issues, he's struggling. We also got Adam 22 that was saying that, they struggling and they having problems with his podcast and he's moving out of his location and the no jumper is basically struggling. What do y'all think about these content creators, especially the ones with the larger platforms not being able to sustain? And what do y'all also think about like Michelle Obama and what's going on? The overall sentiment, what are y'all thoughts about it?
I told y'all niggas. I told y'all niggas. That shit trash, man. Ain't nobody, don't nobody give a fuck about what she got to say. That's just the bottom line. Don't nobody give a fuck about what she got to say. But I will say this, in all honesty, it's still too soon. We gotta see what it do. A year. If they, a year from now, if they still at it or not. That's fair. I think judging it right now, like we won't know completely. Bring it back up in a year, if they still doing it. If they not still doing it, then we already know what it is. But I think it's still kind of early to gauge it, just in all fairness. Because it still only has what, like 60,000 subscribers? Maybe
69,000 subscribers.
69, so
I don't really think
70K.
that the subscribers is a
It ain't
for
gonna be no
every
engagement though, Anton. There's not
I
gonna
don't
be
think
any engagement.
I
There's not
don't
gonna
think
be
that
any
for
real
every
engagement.
platform that's a good litmus test. I think that that's applicable to certain platforms, not to all platforms. So
I don't think there's ever gonna be any real engagement. They're gonna use bots, and it'll be a couple like Democrats and like women that just really rock with her. But other than that, like, why would a man watch that? In all reality, just because she got her brother up there, I doubt it. But we could revisit it in a year, and like I got a feeling, I don't think it's gonna be around. I really don't think it's gonna be around, and I'm not wishing that on them. I just feel like that's not her purpose.
I think it's easy to. I don't even know what that is.
What the fuck?
Wait.
Whoever got
Who's
that right.
that? Wasn't me.
That's Quentin. Got to be Quentin.
I'm about to say all of us can't act like we don't know where it came from.
Well,
Like
so
somebody.
it can only be three people because y'all
No,
was on mute, Carrie.
it's Quentin.
True. Yeah.
All Quentin. So, yep, 100% Quentin. But
I got different text tones for different people, so I know if I need to answer or not.
Carrie, what are your thoughts?
I agree with Slimmy. I think it's too early to really say, but I also think
No,
that she.
Siri.
Oh,
No, shut down, Siri. Stop. Go ahead.
I was like, "Hey Google, Google, stop." Um, and I mean, it looks like they're still kind of doing a lot of it on their own. Like when I look at did she just go,
That's all
That,
Quentin.
that's
It
Quinn.
was a
Who
commercial
did
on one of my
that?
games, I promise.
Oh, I thought that was his
That
Siri, his
that ain't
Siri.
no commercial. That ain't no commercial, dog.
That's all Quentin.
Jeez, dog.
I don't know what kind
um,
of game he playing. Go ahead, Carrie.
no, but judging from like the thumbnails, the titles and stuff like that, it seems like they still
What?
are. It seems like they're still trying to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Like the algorithm is probably a little confused of what do I send people to your channel for? What are y'all they still in the infancy stages, but I haven't watched any more of them because I haven't been interested in the guests that they've brought on. So,
What do you think about some of these channels? Seem like they've fallen off a little bit.
Shit.
um, well, that the what's his name, Adam 20, I
No
forgot.
Champer, Adam 22.
Yeah,
Adam
too much
27.
controversy. Oh,
Well, that yeah, I think when I mean, I know a lot of his stuff was talking about him and his girl doing the OnlyFans stuff, right? And like having the
uh-uh.
strippers and stuff.
No, that
No.
was
Yeah, I don't think that has
No,
anything to do with the platform, though.
Oh, I thought that was what his content was centered around. I don't know then,
nah.
because I don't
It
know what
be,
his content.
what that show
I don't
it's
now.
know what
mainly
Yeah,
his.
about like hip hop artists, music, culture.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that whole topic, um, commenting on other people's videos, like reaction videos and things dealing with the black culture, the hip hop culture, the entertainment culture, all of that. I think that unless you really come from a different angle or you have a certain kind of personality or you create like a really good community, it's probably going to be hard for anybody to sustain a certain amount of money and viewership and engagement for a long period in time. You know what I'm saying? Because there's so many people who are doing it. I think the guy with the barbershop, I don't know. He maybe people were more interested in the setup. I don't know. Like, he's starting over in a sense, so he probably needs some time to kind of figure out what my thing is going to be, because people were used to seeing him in the barbershop having the conversation, and maybe it's now kind of rough, so people don't know what to expect. I'm not really sure, but I don't know.
Well,
I
well,
think,
with math, it was the same format as like interviews, and it just started becoming mundane and boring, and then with no jumper, it might be a little bit too West Coast for people, man. Honestly, it's like a lot of gang shit on there, and like everybody can't relate to that shit. And then the music, like you gotta like that kind of music to really tap in, or you're just not gonna care. That's just the honest facts. If you're not into West Coast music, I don't think you are going to care
oh, he
about.
plays a lot of the music, a lot of music on it,
Well, it's the artists.
or the
West Coast
artist
artists
has.
really, yeah, the West Coast artists go, they go on No Jumper. I mean, they got artists from all over, but it's mainly centered around, the West Coast.
And
So
even
then,
that, oh, sorry, go ahead.
and a lot of gang members. You know what I'm saying? So and then the gang, some of the gang members make music. So it really gets to be very I think the word is convoluted.
Yeah, because
Like
a lot of people have had, that's why I didn't even want to watch the interview on Michelle's channel, because like I've already seen enough of, I like Kiki in terms of her vibe or whatever, but I've seen her do enough interviews where I'm not really interested in another interview. So I see the same thing with Drink Champ. Like, I used to be an avid Drink Champs
hmm
watcher because I loved the level of like conversation they got into with the artist. It went beyond the music, but it's like, all right, I already heard Dr. Dre talk over here. I don't need to see him talk over here, over here, over here, over here. Nobody's really asking anything different. You know what I'm saying? So I can
yeah,
see where, if he's, even if he's having mainstream artists, or I guess people just kind of like, all right, what's next? You know,
yeah.
like,
I think it's a certain wave that was being ridden, and is not there anymore. And like people, they want something fresh. Like the mind tends to wander, even though you could keep pumping out the same stuff. If it's not interesting and it ends up being the same over and over again, then people aren't gonna care who you got up there unless it's like Kanye or Jay-Z, and they don't really do interviews that often, and they're not gonna do certain they're not gonna go on certain platforms. So if you don't have access to like really big names that a lot of people care about, man, your platform is gonna eventually is gonna fall off. If that's what you centering
yeah.
around, like interviews, and like interviews is tough. Everybody can't do that.
But I think that some people, I mean, this is me. I actually am the type to watch a really long interview. Like, I watched the whole, I watched all Terrence Howard on Joe Rogan. I watched the 4 hour interview. I watched the 2.5 hour on Pat David. Like, I think that sometimes people underestimate how much an audience will really dig in if you dig in when you interview somebody, as opposed to kind of like passing them through.
Yeah,
And so I think some people are afraid of really long form content because they think people's attention spans are short, and some people's are. But
yeah.
to me, that's the only way you're really going to get beyond the layers that all the other interviewers have gotten to.
And not dig in with the mess. Like
Right,
dig in with
right.
real substance, real questions, trying to really know somebody. Because
Yeah,
a
so you
lot of the
walk away
times
like, dag, I didn't even
yeah,
know that
they,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah, but how many people are really doing that? And then another thing is most people they don't want to really do interviews with people if they feel like they're an outcast. For instance, like when Anton did the interview with Fleece, most people they not gonna do that interview. It's not gonna do that.
That made a lot of money off that on multiple different platforms.
I believe it.
And a lot of
because
people.
because you handled it well, you walked through it, you wasn't tripping, and most people they don't. And you ask the questions that most people didn't want to ask. They're not gonna ask that stuff. For
Yeah,
one,
I think that if I think that Molly, I want to get your thoughts. What are your thoughts on this the whole thing? And then I'll jump in.
I pretty much, sorry, agree with everything Slimmy and Carrie said. I think it's just a lot of these podcasts are becoming redundant. It's extremely saturated. Anybody can start a podcast nowadays, and I think that's another thing that might be taken away from people's engagement is people are working on their own thing a little bit more. And it's like, how many times can you watch the same person get interviewed? It's kind of
I
the same
agree.
thing.
I
And
agree.
nobody is really, I feel like they've done the same thing the same way for so long. It's not really exciting anymore. Like, I think what
Michelle
sets you
Obama proving
apart
it though.
is you'll, huh?
I said Michelle Obama has proven it. They think that just because they're getting Kiki Palmer on there that it's gonna pop. Like that's not don't mean shit.
Yeah, nobody cares. And then I don't know who Michelle's target audience is. It's like, is it black women your age? Because I haven't caught one episode of her podcast. So, but
I think
that is, oh, go ahead.
no, go ahead. I wanna hear what else you gotta say.
No, it is weird when you see like these platforms with a million or more followers and they say they're basically bankrupt.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. And it's like maybe y'all should do something different. Like you'll do street interviews, you'll do regular interviews. You do so many different things. And I think that's what keeps people interested. And a lot of these people, they're just doing the same thing or they're talking about the same degenerate stuff they were talking about 5+ years. I think people are just getting tired. It's just getting boring. Just boring. Too many podcasts. We like who we like. The rest are probably just gonna fall off.
Yeah. I think that even when I think that the pandemic gave people a false sense of success
I think so
and
too.
that they didn't really understand that this entertainment thing is ever changing, right? It's just like a show that was popping, but then it goes away after 2 or 3 seasons, right? But the thing about it is just that a lot of people are not as entertaining as they think that they are. A lot of people are trying to leverage whatever visibility that they have into long term success. It's not working. I don't think that people realize how hard it is to actually be successful as a content creator. And then last but not least, people think that they could trick the game by just getting a special guest and just talking in front of people, and that's going to be the end of the conversation. I don't think that interviews are as meaningful. I think that the
Mhm.
only thing that's meaning, I think that good content is meaningful. If you get good content because you actually deep dive deep enough into a person that is on your platform, like I don't like all of Shannon Sharp's interviews, but I love the Damon Wayne's interview because he was talking some real shit. You know what I'm saying? Like he was really talking it. And then you'll see a bunch of other people try to capture the wave and all of that. Like the only time that I'm going to do an interview is if it's something that I think that could be meaningful, something that could really be relevant, something that really could. But just to do it for the sake of doing it and thinking that that's going to get your platform popping, that's not what happens. That is not what happens. And I think that people don't truly understand content creation no more. I think that you're going to have to see a lot of people wash out. You're going to have to see some people that was popping yesterday that's not going to be popping this year. I see platforms that try to do what we do and they can't get it popping, and they're gonna struggle, and they can't figure it out. It's ever changing. It's always gonna be a new wave. It's always gonna be a new view. It's always gonna be a new, you know what I'm saying, thing to do, and they can't keep up. I don't think that people are innovative enough, and I don't think that they're interested enough to keep people's attention.
Mhm.
I don't. And so I think that even if people do an interview, it's not enough to just do an interview. Oh, I got this special guest. I don't mean shit. If you get a lesser known guest, but y'all deep dive even further into a conversation that's meaningful, that's the wave. That's the wave. When I interviewed that girl that had HIV, that shit was popping because it was an interesting story, and her to saying that No, that's some real stuff. I'm not doing no interviews unless I actually think it's meaningful. I don't want to just talk to people for the sake of talking to people. I want to talk to meaningful people that have great stories and can add value into the platform. Otherwise, I don't want to. I'm not going to do it just for the sake of doing it.
Yeah. And I think that's another thing. A lot of these, they're not adding value. They're just talking about, like, I think some people want to go deep, and a lot of these platforms are just very surface level. It's very just for entertainment. Let's dumb you down. Let's talk. I don't care about rappers. Like, it's just certain things that you don't care about. So I don't care to hear nobody talk about it for no
Yeah.
hour plus.
Somebody said they think the streaming wave is ending with celebrities and athletes deciding to do it. No, I think that the streaming wave is what's it. I think that how you stream is meaningful. How
Yeah,
you
I
stream is
don't, I don't think
meaningful.
streaming ain't going nowhere.
Oh, streaming is it. It's it.
Streaming ain't going nowhere.
Because it's a way for you to be able to really, but you also have to be talented. You got to be able to talk about multiple different subjects, engage with your audience.
Yep.
You know, it's a lot that goes into it. You can't just cut on the camera and that's the end of it. Like,
Yeah.
I heard Kai Cenat talking about it. And he's like, it's not really as easy as people think. Like, you have to keep them
hard.
engaged. You have to
Mhm.
keep them, like, you just gotta constantly entertain. And kudos to y'all, because I don't know. I can do it.
Jazz is hating, says
No
surface level
jazz.
entertainment. That's
Yeah.
all we talk about
See?
on this platform. Bullshit. See, that's how I know she don't really listen. She tune in at certain points because, like, you could just take tonight. We deep dove into the mental health of men when it comes to gambling. We talked about different conversations around why people are critical from a political perspective. We use Candace Owens as an example, and we deep dove into certain conversations. We then switched it up, and we talked about Ruby Rose, and then we start also having a conversation about different platforms and whether or not is meaningful conversations is being had. So if you sit here telling us that it's only surface level conversation, I would say that that's just what you are engaged with. There's no way that you can sit. We talk about so many different things on this platform, and we go deep. Like, I think that it's certain people that shine when it comes to certain conversations, and we deep dive into a lot of different conversations. Bullshit if you're telling me that it's only a surface level conversation. That's nonsense. I don't believe that at all. Not even a little bit.
What is that? That's wild. I'm disappointed in you, Jazz.
Ain't nothing surface level about what we talk about. We laugh, we joke, we use ourselves as personal examples, we crash out, we argue, we do all kind of stuff. There's no way that you can say that we only have surface level conversations here.
I don't think anybody on this panel is surface level.
I don't either.
Nah. I definitely agree. I don't think anybody is surface level, especially not Carrie.
Mm-mm.
I know. Yeah,
So the thing
she
about
don't
it
do
is if you
everything.
can't find something that you like about the conversations here, then I think that you're more surface level than the conversations that's being had.
Nah,
Last week we talked about men in college and the fact that the
yeah, not having
reading and
education.
shit. Yeah,
What?
what's happening at college campuses, HBCUs,
I don't
whether
think
or
there
not
was
guys
no
are falling
entertainment.
behind.
I don't think there was no entertainment topics on that show.
We sometimes we dig deep, sometimes we get into I mean, it's all over the place. So I don't know what she's talking about.
No,
Maybe
we're
that's
not
all she
calling no
talking
spade
about.
no spade. That's cap. That's
Everybody in the
cap.
chat disagree. When the whole chat disagree with you, you know you wrong.
I know what Jazz need. I
What
know
you
what you
need,
need.
Slimmy? What you
I
need?
know what you
Slimmy?
need. I know what you need. I know what you need. I'll come visit. I'll
I
come
like
visit.
that.
I'll
Talk
come
about that
visit.
shit, Slimmy.
Ain't nothing else to talk about. I'll come visit.
I like that
Cause
shit.
that ain't surface. That ain't surface level.
Jazz think that the only thing deep to talk about is black issues, black power issues. Like, clearly, she only pops in on relationship topics or something like that. But we deep dive into a whole lot of things, literally a whole lot of things. We talked about Gamblers Anonymous, alcoholics, raves. We talked about all kind of stuff, certain cultures, what happened in
Yeah.
cities, traveling to certain places, what's going on in Gary. Like we've talked about all kind of stuff and used so many different examples to illustrate whole points. The whole beginning of the show is dedicated to that. So I don't know what she's talking about. Talked about
That was
RFK Jr.
wild.
RFK Jr. We spoke about all kind of junk. What's happening? We talk about food issues. We talk about all kind of certain things, financial topics, everything. Just tell me that you can't follow along and that you're not that deep.
Yeah,
Tell me
no.
that you're not capable of being able to engage in certain subjects. That's all. Let's talk about that.
Antonio said he doesn't care about certain like pop culture things, but he does it because he knows the general public cares. So
All she got to say is, "Sure you do." No, that's a fact. It's literally a fact. If you look at the cover photo, it is Candace Owens on the cover.
What's wrong with Jazz?
She hurt. She
Hmm.
hurt. She hurt. So, and if you go into the Anton Daniels channel, I've literally been in the streets covering a multitude of issues. I was over in Mexico. I broke down exactly the difference in the currency and how it is that I ain't gonna get into all that. We know what's happening. Anyways, she a little hurt. She hurt. She said Candace Owens is not deep.
It doesn't say Candace
What?
owned. It says Candace owned. That's not deep.
Anybody that says that Candace Owens is not deep is insane.